And somebody just cue me to tell me when. I guess when you spotlight me, I'll start talking, right?
I will. Right.
Okay, awesome. Someone has some background noise, some chatter in the background. We can hear a man talking in the back.
Yes, it's probably the people that I am with.
Okay. Well, I guess we can mute when we go live then until the discussion part, and then it should be okay because you'll be speaking over them. So
Let me see if I can do something.
oh no, you could just mute until the time.
Oh. All right, so we are now going to go live. We're spotlighting you now, Andrea.
Hi, everyone. Good morning and a very warm welcome to the book launch of That's a Good Idea, a new children's book by Dr. Amina Blackwood Meeks. Now, this book is edited by Cherry Ann Smart. The illustrations are by Jagat Cosmorada, and it's just such an exciting book. I love books, and this book is the cutest I've seen in a long time. So really excited to be here and happy to be hosting. My name is Andrea Dempster Chung. I am the co-founder of Bookophilia, Kingston Creative, and just an all-time fan of Amina Blackwood Meeks. So without further ado, today is National Storytelling Day, isn't it, Amina? Yay! And there have been a week of fabulous activities under the Ananse Soundsplash 2020. So without further ado, I want to just introduce who we have with us today for this exciting book launch. First, Dr. Amina Blackwood Meeks. Now, Dr. Amina Blackwood Meeks, OD, she is an award-winning actress, writer, and storyteller who was recently awarded the Order of Distinction. This is one of Jamaica's highest national honors on October 19, 2020. She is the founder and artistic director of Ntkuma, the Storytelling Foundation of Jamaica, and also the founder and director of Ananse Soundsplash, the annual storytelling conference and festival. She has successfully petitioned the Governor General for the proclamation of Jamaica Day and National Storytelling Day. And she's an inductee in the Caribbean Hall of Fame, motivational speaker, workshop facilitator, and she currently serves as the college orator for the Edna Manley College of the Visual and Performing Arts, the first and only of its kind in the Caribbean. So welcome, Auntie Amina. We're really, really pleased to have you here and to be here today with you. The second person I would love to introduce is Steve Russell. Steve Russell is the founder and CEO of V.S. Russell, the creative force behind Bernancy and Friends and Bernancy Press. He's a publisher of books and a number of different products, audiobooks, digital books, educational games, and apparel. He is also the creator and producer of Ananse Live. Prior to Bernancy, Steve worked a number of years in the hospitality industry, where he served in senior management, working on corporate and product strategy. As part of his role, he led product design teams and contributed to strategic and consumer market initiatives. Early on in his career, he served in Jamaica, working as an educator for the Ministry of Education in Jamaica. He also worked for the Viceroy Hotel Group and Proper Hotels, and also Sandals Resorts International. Steve has a BA in Theater and Media from the University of South Carolina and a graduate certificate in the Business of Entertainment from UCLA. Welcome, Steve. And then the last person that I'd like to introduce is Mrs. Susan Scott. Now, Susan is a trustee, director, and longstanding member of the Women's Club, and she was also the chairperson of the Women's Club Home for the Elderly in Jamaica. She's a published author of a cookbook, served as chairperson of the National Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Children, and also as the chairperson and training officer of boards of visitors to HMP Camp Hill in the Isle of Wight. Mrs. Scott has been dedicated to many charitable initiatives throughout her career and is currently focused on ensuring that Jamaica's elderly are enjoying life. Isn't that amazing? So welcome. She's representing the Musson Group today.
Awesome. Thank you.
So to get us started here today with our wonderful book launch, before we dive into the book, I would love us to sit back, relax, grab your coffee, and enjoy something, a tune by the Cara Folk Singers, followed by who is our national singer, message. So sit back and enjoy, and we'll be back in a second for some actual live discussions. Thank you.
Tell me the one we would learn to call. Tell me the one we would learn to call. Tell me the one we would learn to call. Tell me the one we would learn to call. January, February, March, April, May, 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 May. Tell me the one we don't speak the truth. Tell me the one we don't speak the truth. I said tell me the one we don't speak the truth. Tell me the one we don't speak the truth. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, lie, 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 lie. Tell me the one we donkey can't call. Tell me the one we donkey can't call. I said tell me the one we donkey can't call. Tell me the one we donkey can't call. Oh, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, oh, 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 oh. Tell me the one that don't speak the truth. Tell me the one that don't speak the truth. Tell me the one that don't speak the truth. Tell me the one that don't speak the truth. I said January, February, March, April, May, June, July, lie, 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 lie. Tell me the one with donkey can't call. Tell me the one with donkey can't call. I said tell me the one with donkey can't call. Tell me the one with donkey can't call. It's January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Oh, 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 oh. Simon Moose, you never run. Simon Moose, you never run. I'm sorry that they want you. Take a run at the righteous chicken. Who's the thing that it waste the money? Simon Moose, Simon Moose, you never run. Simon Moose, you never run. Don't step up on my feet. We will take up our pizzas. I will save your little skin. Simon Moose, Simon Moose, you never run. Simon Moose, you never run. Simon Moose, you never run. Simon Moose, you never run.
Mr. Liam Logan, I don't think I often get an opportunity to sit with a champion, and you are the champion reader for Kingston of the Jamaica Library Service Reading Competition. May I offer you my heartiest congratulations.
Thank you.
And to thank you for agreeing to read from my book. What did you think of the book, by the way?
It was very well written, especially for the fact that it's a story in a story.
Thank you very much. Could you read your favorite parts of the book for me now?
Sure, Auntie Amina. Excerpt from the book, That's a Good Idea, by Amina Blackwood Meeks. The mention of mongoose made Johnny laugh. I know mongoose, he said. That's the animal that chases rats out of the cane field. It's always running across the road without even looking, and most of the time it's alone. Except when it is carrying bedward sticking in its mouth, and to prove how much he knew, Johnny broke out into song. nodded, joined in the chorus, and then continued his story. Well, without a chicken, Mongoose looked so lonely because he was always alone. That is why Great Spirit decided to allow Mongoose to make one last animal, so he could have a friend, just to keep him company. And Mongoose said, Johnny jumped right in. That's a good idea. According to Grandpa, Great Spirit said to Mongoose, tell you what, take this piece of muddling clay and make me model what you think the last animal on earth should look like. It's time I had a rest. Then Mongoose had a brilliant idea. The words tumbled out of his mouth faster than his mind could figure out what he was really saying. With all these models, Great Spirit, one day you and I can launch a special line of garments and have the greatest fashion show in the world. We can discover the next supermodel. Oh, I can see it now. Paparazzi, lights, camera, action! Tourists will come from everywhere. Oh, Great Spirit, how about a beauty contest? We could dress up all the animals in the most amusing outfits and ask them some tough questions. Now, how would we decide who would be the winner? We could play Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. Great Spirit roared and cut him off right there. Mongoose, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
You are a brilliant reader.
Thank you, Auntie Amina.
I can see why you are the champion. May I ask you a question?
Sure, go ahead.
Do you know what a mongoose bread is?
No, Auntie Amina, I've never heard of it.
What do you imagine it is?
A long piece of bread?
To be eating some mongoose bread. But first I have a surprise for you. Would you like to stand with me? I want everybody to have a look at this. This is the poster that comes with the book. And I am going to give you your specially autographed copy of this poster. And guess what? The first 20 people to purchase, it's yours, you can take it. Please take it. The first 20 people to purchase the book after this will get an autographed copy of this poster. But you will be the first. So they will be the 21st. How about that?
Sure.
That's a good idea. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome, Auntie Amina.
The belly craves food, the tongue craves water, the heart craves love, and the mind craves stories is a quote from The Thousand Autumns of Jacob de Zoet by David Mitchell. It is my absolute pleasure to join you in celebrating National Storytelling Day 2020 and to congratulate you on the 7th staging of the annual Storytelling Festival and the launch of your book, That's a Good Idea. Storytelling Day was born out of the efforts to safeguard the cultural well-being of Jamaica's rich oral heritage and to lend to it the preservation of a cultural form through which wholesome values can be shared between our elders and our youth. It is hoped that through this intergenerational sharing, more of our nation's youth will be exposed to the positive values and attitudes derived from an understanding and appreciation of their identity and their importance to national development. Arguably, there are very few things that can compare to the exhilaration one experiences when you find yourself lost in a riveting tale. Indeed, stories have the power to transport you to a realm outside of your imagination and your wildest dreams. Storytelling offers an opportunity for us to develop an understanding, respect, and appreciation for other cultures, countries, and religions. For children, it is an invaluable tool in the areas of language development, improved listening skills, increased vocabulary and memory capacity, and critical thinking. As these skills are developed, children may also benefit from a growth in confidence in a wide range of areas. Noted scholar and philosopher Albert Einstein captured it best when he said, "If you want your children to be smart, tell them stories. If you want them to be brilliant, tell them more stories." As you continue to rediscover, renew, and retell our stories, I encourage you to recognize that storytelling offers so much more than just a feel-good pastime. In fact, it is the oldest form of teaching used to bond the early human communities and provide children with answers to the biggest questions of creation, life, and the afterlife. As writer Yash Patel aptly posits, stories define us, shape us, control us, and make us. Not every human culture in the world is literate, but every single culture tells stories. As I journeyed with Grandpa and Johnny on their quest of discovery in the book's excerpt, I couldn't help but reflect on my own fond childhood memories while growing up in rural Jamaica, of gathering with family and friends from my community on a moonshine night to listening to enthralling tales for endless hours. The numerous life lessons conveyed, coupled with the sense of camaraderie, excitement, and wonder, filled us up and has stayed with us even into childhood. I am thrilled you have decided to undertake this project and applaud you for presenting a tale which promises to be engaging, suspenseful, and filled with references to our vibrant Caribbean culture. I am confident many children will be captivated by this story and its characters. It is therefore my distinct pleasure to launch That's a Good Idea. I also use this opportunity to commend Dr. Amina Blackwood Meeks for her years of dedication to the art of storytelling and for her continued investment in enriching the minds of our youth. May you be blessed with great success in this event and your future endeavors. Thank you, and do enjoy the rest of this festival.
All right, we'll be handing over back to Lisa at this.
And hello, everybody. We are back. I would just like to know if everybody is with us. Amina, are you hearing? Is everything good? We're going to have a chat with Dr. Amina Blackwood Meeks and with Steve. And first, we're going to start off with Susan with a couple questions. So I just want to make sure everybody's in the room.
Right. Amina isn't in the room right
Great.
now.
All right. So is Susan with us?
Yes.
Hi, Susan. How are you? We're going to start off with you because we understand when you're in the business of books, the business of publishing and the arts, just how important the sponsors are to the production of art. So just checking in with you, what was Musson's involvement in the production of the book?
Well, to be honest, you need to talk to Lisa about that because Lisa has really been the backbone of all of this. Do you want to go over to her on that one?
Absolutely. Lisa, tell us a little bit about the foundation and just how Musson was involved in the production of the book.
Sure, thank you, Andrea. The Muslim Foundation was involved by sponsoring the publishing of 100 copies of the book. When Dr. Blackwood Meeks reached out to us, it was really a no-brainer to support, as we've always placed a special emphasis on supporting the cultural and creative industries in Jamaica. So it was really a pleasure to be a part of this, and we're really happy to be here. And we look forward to continuing to support this kind of work.
Awesome. And can you just tell us a little bit more about what the Muslim Foundation focuses on? Does it have a focus on youth, literacy, arts? Just so we know a little bit more about the organization.
Absolutely. We do focus on young people and giving them opportunities to grow their skills, to start their own businesses. The Muslim group itself was started as an entrepreneurial venture, so that's very important to us. And as I had said before, we do focus and try to build up the creative industry, as we see it as a big part of strengthening the economy and growing wealth for young people. We focus on sport as well, and sponsoring young people so that they have those opportunities to excel in those maybe non-traditional areas. And we also, we do focus on technology and education as well.
Thank you, Lisa. I mean, we so agree. You know, we at Kingston Creative would definitely agree with you, because so many of our young people are creative, you know, so it's really glad to see corporates really investing in and understanding that investing in our people is important. So thank you very much for the sponsorship of this book. And stay tuned in case you have any questions after, I might drag you back in.
Sure.
So I'm going to go to Steve. Steve, as an author, actor, storyteller, publisher, you wear so many hats. Can you tell us about why you founded Ananse, and what are your hopes for the company?
Actually, Ananse started back in 2011 because just prior to Jamaica celebrating its 50th anniversary, I thought, what better way to celebrate that 50th anniversary than to do Ananse stories? And so that's how I started as an author. And I came out with Ananse and the Magic Pot. And soon after that happened, I was going to all the book festivals, and I came to realize that there are several stories there that need to be told. And there were other authors or prospective authors who needed an opportunity and an avenue to get these stories out. And that was how Ananse Press started. And so we're a small press. We try to publish 2 to 3 titles per year. And so when the idea came about of that's a good idea, you know, I was ready to jump on board. Having worked with Amina on the festival over the years, I was a little bit surprised that she had not published a kid's book as yet. And so I thought, ooh, what better challenge to take on? And there's several more, and she will tell you, in the pipeline. But when I looked at the collection that she had, I thought that this book was relevant and timely. We started the project back in May of this year. And at that time, the situation in the US here with the George Floyd situation, I thought that this book was timely to help teach kids about the importance of their identity. And
where exactly are you based, Steve?
I'm based
in. Who are looking to find the company.
I'm between Jamaica and the US. I'm actually based out of Los Angeles.
Out of LA.
All our books are deposited in the National Library of Jamaica because we're a Jamaican company, just so happen to have tentacles elsewhere outside of Jamaica.
I mean, you bring up a really good point. You know, this year our kids have just been bombarded by so many negative messages. And it really feels like it's a pivotal time for inclusive, diverse storytelling. So what has the feedback been, or the reaction been, in the diaspora and at home to the publication of this book?
Well, in the diaspora, it's a superb, overwhelming appreciation. One of the things that I find interesting is that when we get outside of Jamaica, we understand how much we miss home. And so you find that in the diaspora, there are a lot of people trying to belong. And one of the things that we've come to recognize is you cannot give away your birthright. And so that's one of the things that I try to do, is to connect those who have left for several reasons, and for those who cannot return. Either, they have other issues and they can't return as often as they want to. And we have a side of Jamaica that's growing up outside of Jamaica that doesn't know about the culture. And that's what we try to bridge that gap by bringing these stories to life.
And we appreciate you for it. It's so necessary. I'm going to throw to Amina. Amina, are you with us?
I'm very
we
much
have a
with
spotlight
you.
on Dr. Amina
I'm
Blackwood.
very much with you, but I wanted to introduce this fabulous young man.
Hi, Liam. Hi, Liam. How are you?
I'm fine.
Liam, you're an excellent reader. I know you're going to do very well in school and do amazing things when you grow up. What do you want to be, Liam?
Not really sure.
He's not really sure. He's thinking about it.
And that's a very smart answer. You have lots of time, so we look
In
forward.
an ever-changing world, he might change his mind.
He might need to pivot.
So here I am now. I'm all yours now.
Awesome. So, it really is an honor, first and foremost. I've admired you and your work and your storytelling, and it's almost amazing. You've told so many stories, including at the Kingston Creative Art Walk, to hundreds of children in the National Gallery, and never put them on paper. What motivated you to finally launch this first book?
Well, there is a backstory, and there's a backstory about publishers tell us all the time that there is no market for children's literature. I'm just stopping for that to sink in. In the Caribbean, where there are 25 million of us in the English-speaking Caribbean alone, publishers tell us that there is no market for children's literature, and they seem to be all focused on texts, school texts. So we've done that disappointing walk. We've done that disappointing walk. The other part of it is me. I'm a storyteller, and that's what I do. I'm a storyteller. And in some storytelling traditions, they frown upon you when you attempt to write your stories down, because you're supposed to be able to carry the stories in your head. The challenge is that when they're only in your head and nobody else has access to them, it becomes true that when a storyteller dies, we lose an entire library. And so, yes, wanting to publish has been with me for a while, and then along came Steve. There's
a whole song about Steve, oh my goodness. Well, I mean, I was a parent in the diaspora, I was in London with my daughter, and this really does give access to diaspora parents to tell these stories, even those who are not that comfortable and confident with the language and the history. So, I mean, there in the early part of the book, you speak about a Cicero chatty-mouth parrot.
Right.
What is Cicero? What is the origin of this word? And how do you expect the parents to, is there an index? Can we look it up? Like, tell me about the language.
Thank you very much for that, Andrea. Coming soon is an activity book that goes with the main book, the main story. And what we have done, thank you so much, Opal. Thank you. Thank everybody. I'm seeing the comments in the chat. What we have done, we've made the book a Jamaican, Caribbean, African diaspora conversation. So throughout the book, although it is centered in my Jamaican-ness, there are references to other parts of the region. So the Cicero Parrot is one of the esteemed birds. It might also be the national bird, I'm not sure, of Dominica. So and he's called the Cicero Parrot. And there is the green monkey, and there is something else. So we've tried to pick an animal from other Caribbean places.
So
and
this is a regional book, yes, it's not just Jamaican, okay.
Not just Jamaican. It was born in Jamaica, but it belongs to the region.
Fantastic. And so then we go to names of places. There's a section that
Right.
talks about Cane River, Mango River, Black River, White River, and these are real places. How
These
important
are real
was
places.
Yes, how important was it for you to ground children in a sense of place, especially children who may be reading it who don't live in the Caribbean but who have Caribbean heritage?
It's not just for them to understand the names of the rivers and mountains that we have, but it is also to give them a sense of their responsibility to protecting the environment. And so there are several levels at which the children will come into that understanding. You know, when we first learn the Our Father, it's just a number of words. And the more we say, the more we ask about it, the more we will know what it is all about. And so we chose Cane River, and you will see that one character in the book is Bob. And we don't give Bob any surname. Because in the world, when you say Usain, is only one Usain you can mean. In the world, when you say Bob, is only one Bob you can mean. But Bob was so fond of the days that he spent by the river that he actually wrote a song about it. Up a Cane River, go wash I dread. And the life that we used to have by the riverside of washing our clothes, doing our laundry, cooking, going to catch janga, making janga soup, that whole life by the riverside, I think, is so important for our children to be introduced to or reintroduced to or be told about in this time of COVID, when we do not know how long they're going to be remaining at home. Many of them will never have heard that you could go by the river to enjoy yourself. And so for all of those reasons, the lifestyle, the environment, the value of what we have, the fact that Jamaica has 2 World Heritage Sites, it was very important to name our spaces for our children to ask, what is this? You know,
Yes.
the Jews say that on one of their holy days, the meal must have a piece of burnt thyme. And it's bitter, it don't taste good. I've had it with my Jewish friends. And it is there because when the youngest child tastes it, they're going to have to say, yuck, what is this
What
about?
is that? Yes.
And when they say, what is this about? Then they are told their history at that point in time. So we've placed many equivalents of the burnt thyme in that story.
I can see it was very intentional, because you did not have to put in that sense of place and the actual lists. And so I understand it's layers and layers. I really like what Liam said, that it's a story within a story, but then there's even more stories as the kids question. I have another question.
I was so surprised. I'm sorry, Andrea. I was so surprised when Liam said that. I went, wow, this little boy understands more about the book than I thought that this age group would understand. So
don't underestimate the youth. Never underestimate the youth.
Story within a story.
Yes.
And then I want to say that I had a wonderful editor. People say you mustn't work with your friends, but sometimes they are exactly the people you should work with. Because she asked me so many what if. You see, when you tell a story, the story is not linear. The story can start anywhere and go anywhere, and the audience and you bring it back. And I was writing the story like that. And she said, no, Amina, you can't do that because. And she gave me my because, and she sent me back. And she gave me the what ifs, and she sent me back. So when she was pleased, I was pleased.
And her name is?
Her name is Cherry and Smart.
All right, big up Miss Cherry and Smart. And I'm going to circle you back to the question about your central character within the story, which is Bob. Of course, we know it's a reference. He has dreadlocks. And do you feel that in a Caribbean book for children, when you put the central character as Bob, that you are stereotyping the Rastafarian dreadlock Jamaican type, or are you reinforcing a positive archetype or a myth for our times?
I grew up in a household where my hair was never processed, but my parents were not Rastas. They just didn't think we needed to process our hair. My father was a revivalist, so maybe that's part of it. But then my mother sent us to a brethren church where you also don't do anything to your hair. So for me, it was, I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about the representation of the child and his grandfather, or of Great Spirit. But here is the thing, the illustrator don't know anything about Jamaica.
But the long natural twist, it's so topical. It's so topical.
When he sent that back, I said to Steve, I'm going to send you a picture of Bunny Wailer, because this man meet Bunny Wailer in another life, because all I am seeing is Bunny Wailer. And therefore, if this artist who has never come to Jamaica has given us that picture of the Great Spirit, then the little boy who is we're all made in the image and likeness of, the little boy must have something. And that's how that evolved.
Yes, it's fantastic, because the natural twist, the dark skin, I mean, it is such positive reinforcement for the majority of the children that will read this book. So that's excellent. I'm just wondering, what would you say to aspiring authors out there, or aspiring storytellers? Do you have any lessons that you learned in this process? I know that writing a book can be a very challenging personal process. What did you take from it?
Yes. You can't stand on the shore and swim. You have to jump into the water. But you also have to test it. I said that part of the lateness or the timing of the publication is me. I am never satisfied. I get 40 standing ovations. I am not satisfied. I'm going home to see what else. I'm going to test it on my son, on my grandchildren. And so my own lesson from that is you can't take your audience for granted. You don't wake up tonight and write 3 stories to perform tomorrow and believe that you're such a fabulous storyteller that you can do this. So a friend of mine in Trinidad wrote a book, advice to writers, called Quick Girl, Write. Because if you don't write it in the moment, you lose all of the emotions and the feelings so quick. As soon as you get it, put it down. But then please go back and look at it and look at it and look at it again.
And refine it. Absolutely.
And refine.
Absolutely. That's great advice, because I know writers love to read. And so I know a lot of children's authors are out here listening to your book launch and listening to this advice. So thank you so much for sharing. I want to just throw back to Steve. Steve, I just wanted to know whether you are actually looking for more Caribbean writers. Are you, if there's aspiring writers in the audience, should they contact you?
Oh, sure, they should, because that's one of my goals, is to get more Caribbean authors out there. As Amina is aware, I also run the Caribbean Literary Festival, and that was where Amina and I reconnect, because we have been in a relationship for a long time with the festival. I think what it will take, though, is more good people like the Separate and Mussons Foundation. Because one of the challenges for aspiring authors in the Caribbean is the expense that it takes to produce a book like a children's book. Because you look at the different aspect, it's almost like live theater meet on the page, where you have to do set design, all that stuff. And so that part of it can be challenging. I've had discussion with quite a few authors in Jamaica who would love to. But one of the issues is, as we're saying, illustrations, that takes up a big part of the process, and finding the right illustrator to bring the story to life.
Well, can I tell you, you really found the right illustrator. Those illustrations are gorgeous. They really add to the book. They draw you in. I mean, I'm excited for kids to get their hands on this book, because I know it's going to be a really amazing experience for them. And as a child, there's some books that stay with you. This will be one of the books that I think stays with the children. Would you like to just say your email address so people can contact you? If they're out there and they're interested, who should they email? Or what website should they go to?
Well, they can go to brennanse.com. They can find me on Facebook. They can email info@brennancepress.com or info@brennancy. And that's Brennancy with the ANANCY, BRERANANCY.com. And also want to remind you that along with this book comes the Spanish version, which we failed to mention.
Dropping in January, yes.
Right. So the Spanish version is coming for those who speak a second language or would love to learn a second language. And so I guess that's a que gran idea. My Spanish is that.
Que gran idea. Sí, claro que sí. Now, and I think you have another audience too.
May I just say?
Absolutely.
May I just say, please, Andrea, that it's not just for those who want to speak a second language, but we have Spanish-speaking neighbors. We have Puerto Rico.
We are one Caribbean, Colombia.
We're one Caribbean.
Yes, absolutely. So I love that this will unite the Caribbean. So maybe French and Dutch is next. So we can have all 34 countries in the region enjoying this fabulous book.
We alluded to the African diaspora conversation, and we are in conversation with our African friends in South Africa who run a children's literature company called Puku.Koza, and they are looking very, very keenly at publishing this book in one of the 11 official languages of South Africa.
Oh, it's so exciting. It's so exciting. It's like when you give birth and you see the baby just start to toddle and walk away and grow up. It's fantastic. So this is the beginning of your journey, and I really hope that you enjoy every step along the way. Where can people buy the book? It's all about the buying of the book.
Steve, where can we find the book?
Where is it available? Where can they order?
The book can be found at TAGI, which is the abbreviation for That's a Good Idea, TAGI.brandnancy.com. The book is available there. The book will also be available in the major bookstores in Jamaica.
Name them.
Well,
Kingston Bookshop?
Kingston Bookshop, yes.
Awesome. Okay, good.
Ryan's.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And also the book will be available in Amazon and all Amazon affiliates within the next week or so.
Perfect. Once it's on Amazon, even if you are in Timbuktu, Caribbean parents, you can buy this book for your child. So we all know what's on the Christmas list for any child between 5 and 8. And I just want to just go to the group chat. We've got some messages from fellow author Opal Palmer Adisa. Good morning, Amina. So proud of you. Thanks for preserving and expanding the culture. And Lilith Nelson. Amina, me proud of you till my proudness drop a ground. Thank you. Glad that you Caribbeanized your book. I need 3 copies for the children of my family in Montreal. And people are looking forward to the Spanish-speaking versions. And Damien Herod says, good morning, Queen Mother Amina. Blessings. Such a wonderful experience to share in your book launch. Can't wait to dive in and read. And Beverly Lashley, who is the CEO of the Jamaica Library Service, where you are broadcasting from. We are broadcasting from the Creative Hub downtown, but you are at the JLS, just 2 streets over. She says, excellent idea for a Spanish version. Congrats, Dr. Blackwood Meeks. And just a plug for all authors to remember to deposit a copy of your book at the Jamaica, the National Library of Jamaica.
I would like to invite now, please, but this has never been done. I would like to invite Miss Maureen Thompson of the Jamaica Library Service. Are you there, Miss Maureen? Or somebody from the JLS, as well as Miss Beverly Lashley from the National Library of Jamaica.
Jamaica, NLJ.
Yes, if you would step up to receive virtually, it can't come through the screen.
We're going to do a virtual handover. Listen, it's groundbreaking. I'm here for it.
Handover, yes. So, Ms. Lashley, please receive your virtual handover and then give us your acceptance speech. Who is here from the Jamaica Library Service who will accept?
Sean Thomas is here.
Hello, Sean.
Sean.
Okay, so Sean can do it on my behalf. Good morning, everyone. Congratulations, Amina.
Thank you very much. That is the Director General of the Jamaica Library Service, which is different from the National
Library of Jamaica. Thank you so much, Amina.
So you have your virtual books. And Miss Beverly Lashley, where are you now to receive yours?
I'm right here.
Here you are. Can you reach out and touch it?
Reach into the screen.
Thank you so much for this publication. That's a good idea to deposit your copy to the National Library
of Jamaica.
For
Forgive me my
preservation
misspeaking.
and for future generations.
Absolutely.
Congrats, Dr. Meeks.
Yes. Andrea, one of the things that we have is, okay, I have so many things in front of me. We have posters. We have these beautiful posters.
And how do people get their hands on them? How do people get their hands on the posters?
Well, I have them in my hands now. And the first 20 orders will get a signed copy of the poster. So when you click on Taggy, Steve will say to me, Amina, these are the first 20 people from Jamaica. Steve, did you also mean 20 around the world? Can we make that the first 20 from Jamaica and then the first 20 around the world?
You're the boss, you're the boss, Dr. Meeks. So yes, we'll make 20 more copies of the poster available. Just a reminder, it's tagi.brananse.com for you to go and order the book. And as suggested by Dr. Lashley, yes, deposits come into the National Library of Jamaica. And we'll be at all the book festivals in Jamaica, Amina. So you can find the books wherever books are sold.
We really thank you and look forward to seeing the book distributed widely. I just want to check if Musson would like to give a couple words of any final thoughts.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
I'm so sorry, and Musson, I'm so sorry, Miss Suzanne. I'm so sorry because your 3 copies are also available. I'm so sorry.
Thank you very much. No, I just wanted to say, I don't know, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you just fine.
What a pleasure it's been to be listening to this morning and seeing this, and how Muscle Foundation is very proud to support this. And we're very much looking forward to the next book. And I know that children's books like this are absolutely stimulating for children. And it's wonderful to have Jamaican folklore. When my children were growing up, they grew up in England. And I used to come out here all the time buying every Jamaican book so that they had the opportunity to have that. Remember the days of way back in the 70s I'm talking about. But it's instinctual for us as Jamaicans to want to take a piece of home away with us. And it's marvelous to have a book like this. So we're very proud to have been part of this. And thank you, Dr. Amina. Thank you for all of that. It's been wonderful. And it's been a lovely morning. And it's been a horrible rainy day where I am. So this has been a pleasure.
Well, hopefully this has brought a little bit of sunshine into everybody's day today. Thank you so much, Susan. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Steve, with your awesome Bernanse publishing. Again, it's tagibr.branancy.com. Tagi.bernancy.com. So please go off and get your books. Dr. Meeks, would you like to just say
one last thing?
People? Yes. Absolutely. I'll throw to you when you close us out.
Yes. Earlier when we spoke with Liam, he didn't know what a mongoose bread is or was. So I have this surprise for Liam, but he didn't know it because I brought a mongoose bread to show him.
Show all of us.
It's half the bread, Liam, because the mongoose must eat half. It's a mongoose bread. But the mongoose bread is part of the ritual of the revivalists in Jamaica. Let's call it a sacred bread that they have on special occasions. Like some of us know the duck bread and the show bread we have at weddings. Well, they have the mongoose bread, and it's long and it is shaped like a mongoose. Except this morning, Liam, because we call it the mongoose bread, the mongoose eat half. Is that okay? Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining us on YouTube, on Zoom, and wherever you're watching this. We hope that you'll go out and get yourselves a copy of That's a Good Idea by Dr. Amina Blackwood Meeks. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Thank you.